The first step to approaching either of these etudes is to familiarize yourself with the scales and arpeggios found throughout each study. This selection is marked andante cantabile, meaning in a flowing singing manner at a moderate tempo. Shape the consistent two-bar phrases with a tasteful use of crescendo and diminuendo. Since dynamic markings are sparse in this etude, I would like to suggest the following additions. A gradual crescendo from mezzo piano to mezzo forte from measure 13 to the downbeat of measure 15. A gradual decrescendo from measure 15 to beat 3 of measure 16. A crescendo from mezzo piano to mezzo forte from the second eighth note of beat 3 in measure 16 to the downbeat of measure 17. A crescendo from mezzo forte to forte from the second eighth note of beat 3 in measure 17 to the downbeat of measure 20. And finally, a decrescendo from measure 23 to measure 24. Take care not to rush longer note values, such as half notes and dotted quarter notes, as well as rest. The turns and grace notes, which appear in measures 1 and 3 as 32nd notes, and in measure 5 as 16th notes, should all be placed on the second half of beat 2. The turns and grace notes in measures 15, 17, and 21 should be placed on the second half of beat 3. And finally, the turns and grace notes in measures 19 and 23 should be placed on the second half of beat 4. Add the ring and middle fingers of the left hand for better intonation on the persistently sharp D flat. Notes marked staccato should be played slightly separated, but not too short or too dry. Rhythmic precision is mandatory throughout any etude, but pay special attention to the dotted 8th 16th rhythm in measures 7 and 19. Subdividing 16th notes from the beginning of these measures will guarantee rhythmic success. Also take care to make a distinction between the 8th note that follows the dotted quarter in measure 18 and the 8th note triplets which comprise the second half of this measure. Learn measures 13 and 14 slowly and carefully, noting all accidentals and remembering that they carry throughout the entire bar. All trills in this etude should begin from the note. Take breaths during rest when possible, and also where they are indicated by a comma in the music. Additionally, you may choose to breathe between the E flat and G of beat 3 in measure 16, between the two E flats of beat 3 in measures 18 and 22, and after the E flat half note in measure 20.